Hey, how are you? This is Antoine, and I just wanted to give an encouragement just to all who out there, those in my fellowship, those in my friends, and whoever out there, just some things that I've been thinking about for myself and been learning, kind of both hats, as a Christian and as a mental health counselor. This is definitely a time where we really have an opportunity and a choice, even in a crisis. And I wanted to give just a short word of encouragement that I think will make a difference for us all. Behind me, you'll see something a little strange, and the reason I wrote that or drew that was because of an article that I read. It was in the Forbes March 2020, and they were talking about some lessons that can be learned from former astronauts who are forced, not forced, but by physical and by life career, they're in positions of being in socially distant circumstances for long periods of time. They even train them to how to function and thrive. And I wanted to look at some lessons that we can learn from them, but also I wanted to ultimately look at a choice, as Christians especially, and those who are seekers of God, of either we can be in a position right now to rest or increase our distress. In Hebrews chapter 4, one of my favorite scriptures, is something I was reading lately that I think really hits home. It talks about Hebrews chapter 4, and I think it's in verse 8 through 11. It says, "Let us make every effort to enter that rest, so that no one will perish by following their example of disobedience." That scripture, please read it in context, was an encouragement to Jewish Christians to enter God's rest, which is the calling then, and I believe the calling now. Rest in the Bible had at least 4 dimensions to it, and all work together. Rest is a relationship with God. It's when not just following his rules, but realizing and seeking his presence. Rest is also the rest of knowing that whenever we do leave this planet, whenever we do pass, we will be with God in a relationship that's going to last through eternity. Make every effort in whatever circumstances to enter that rest. Also, it's also literally the Sabbath. It's also literally that time, one time during the week, where you rest, where you pause, where you make space and physical time to kind of not do what you would normally do and to reflect on him, on what's important in our lives. And then finally, when it says entering the rest in the Bible, it also has the idea of the actual physical territory. Just as the ancient Israelites had a territory that God said, this is where I want you to be, where you can rest. And just as Eden was a physical territory, we as Christians have a physical territory. Where would that be? It's actually wherever you are right now. Your home, your apartment. That is the place where, because you're there, you want this to be the place where God, eternity, relationship thrive, where you can enter, even through a very distressing time, your environment can be blessed. So this time can either lead to us going into a cycle that will psychologically, emotionally, really kind of just make it worse, or it can be a chance to let the Spirit really work on us and lead us to what's important. Some advice from those astronauts that they gave very quickly was very simple. One, see the big picture. They could always look out of their spaceship window and see the Earth. They got that big picture of what life and what their mission was about. As Christians and as people, let's see the big picture. This will pass, but what is important and who is important to us? Also, stay busy. Stay busy with what's meaningful, what matters. Stay busy with our minds. Use this as a chance to learn, to grow, to do something, fix something that maybe you never had a chance to do. Even staying active physically, whatever you can do within our parameters that can keep our bodies moving and active. Now, this is an important one. Number 4, keep it clean. In other words, keep your home base of operations neat, clean, inviting, safe, a place where you want to be. That really does affect your mood if your environment feels chaotic or cluttered. So definitely keep your home base of operations organized and clean. Take stock of your supplies. You don't want to be in a position where you run out of things at the last minute, so kind of plan out So you don't have to always be kind of rushing. Don't buy no more toilet paper if you already bought it, but just going out there like that. And then also keep the channels open, just like the astronauts do. They use electronics and video to connect with people, or just good old-fashioned phone. In the same way, keep the channels open. Don't just isolate. Call, talk, video, Skype, Zoom, go on. That's what our group has been doing. And then finally, related to all of that, it brightens someone else's day. Think about somebody that you can do something kind about. One suggestion was even doing things like sending a gift through Amazon to somebody you know who needs encouragement or needs something. I know of a couple that actually went by to an older person's home just to make sure and to check up on them and spend time with them. They felt it was worth the risk to make sure that person was okay. But whatever you do, brighten someone's day, even if it's a funny meme that you know would lift their spirits. I hope this encourages you. That article was in Forbes, March 2020. You can look it up online. It was called "Former Astronauts Cope with Social Distancing and Isolation." But let's enter the rest. This is a discipline and a challenge. This is a crisis. But it's also a chance for us to pause. Thank you.